Greetings, Capsuleers. My name's Waz. This is episode 3 of our Alpha to Omega trading series, where we're trying to get the Omega subscription status just by trading on the market. We made a lot of progress this last week, and I'm really excited to show you guys. Let's dive in. So here we are. I had recorded this all previously and it had it all working well, and my webcam was in it and everything, but then I realized that the world volume level was too loud and it was overcrowding my voice, and you couldn't really understand sometimes what I was saying when it was getting mixed. So here we are, and I'm going to try to go through and repeat everything I did in the last video instead of just doing a voiceover. It'd be much easier for me just to redo some of it. One thing I realized in the last video was that I set a bunch of purchase orders and they all had a 1-day expiration date, but I went through and I canceled what I had and replugged them in for a 3-month time frame, which just works better for me. And I would highly recommend it regardless. As you can see here, we are at 500 million ISK. When I posted the update earlier in the week, I think we were at 200 million, so we've been making some great progress. So we actually got a little bit of luck here. I'm going to pull up our wallet and we're going to take a look back. There was some cerebral accelerators that I was buying for about 3 mil a pop that end up actually going for about 40 and now 60 mil. Oh, here we go. So this is one. Yeah, this is it. So we were buying these for about 3 mil, and at the time they were going for 14 mil. As you can see, I goofed up here, and I don't know how or why I did it, but I did. So I made a mistake still. But we were still able to catch up the rest of the sales at the appropriate price that we wanted it. And since then, we've sold quite a few more. So this has really boosted our ISK quite a bit. You can see these medium transverse bulkheads. I think I'm probably still selling these. If you're new here, I try to hop on about 3 times a day and at least check to see if I have anything I can hop in here and sell. And typically I'll come in here and update my market orders maybe once or twice a day, usually in the morning or evening. And sometimes I don't get around to posting more buy orders right away. Sometimes I'll just do that once a day or once every other day, even though I do have orders available, which has really slowed down my progress in comparison with what I could be doing. But with what we've done so far, you know, we're at 500 mil, and that's great. That's further along than I thought we would be by this point, to be honest. I thought it would probably take us about 2 or 3 months, but I think it's very possible to do this in about a month and a half just using this method. You don't even really need experience in knowing what goes for what sales or when to post things. It's just do the method and you should have some success at least. Maybe not to this level because, you know, eventually these sales will die down, but there will always be something. So real quick, what we're going to do whenever I hop in here, I'm just going to walk you guys through this. I run through here and I update everything. I feel comfortable updating this to 100,100 ISK, because either way, we're still going to be, hopefully, doubling our profit there. And I did go through and update these on stream, so we did get a few more items. And then I'm going to show you guys how I decide what to purchase next. I know in the last video, I gave you a brief overview of the Evetrade or Evetrade.space. I'm going to go a little deeper here. So we'll update this just to pop in front of this guy. Yeah, as you can see, we updated this, what, 2.5 hours ago? People are already way ahead of us. So this is something you do kind of want to stay on top of, but if you're out doing other things, you can always just pop back in here whenever you get your cargo full or something and update these orders. Or if you have a tune that just stays in JITA, you can just keep updating these throughout the day as you're doing things on your other tune. Oh, no, we don't want that. We want to change this to 860,123. So even though this price is tanked, it was running at 60, I want to say. Oh, I was thinking the extended ones. The extended ones I think were running for a bit more. You're purchasing for about 30 mil and then selling them for 60 now. But still, either way, that's a great deal. One thing to keep in mind too is wherever you're trading, you can't do this at any trade station. There's a select, probably a handful, maybe 5 or 6 stations where you could do this. But to have this level of success, you'd probably need to do this in JITA, which is the largest trade hub in the game. There's other trade hubs in Amar, Galiente, Minotaur space. The volume that passes through those trade hubs isn't near what this trade hub has. So while you could do it, you'll probably be updating these orders more frequently without people filling them. So here there is plenty of competition, but it's bearable. I think the volume that passes through outweighs the competition, at least at this moment. We're gonna just keep updating these. The goal is to get the item and sell it as quickly as possible. Many real-world trading strategies work great in this game. I don't really use any with this method. Whoops, one too many zeros there. So yeah, if you have any experience with any of that or any of your own investing, then you can definitely apply this here. It would take time and patience, of course, and it can be a little more complicated. You'll probably need more spreadsheets or just spreadsheets in general. For what I do, this works. Okay, so here's evetrade.space. I bookmarked the station-to-station trading because that's what I was interested in a long time ago, and I haven't updated it to single-station trading. Hop over to the single-station trading. Here you can enter your station name, which we got Jita 4-moon4 right down here. Like I said, you can try this at any trade hub, any station in the game, but due to whatever filters you have set, it may or may not pull anything up for you. Because of how much money we do have, I'm actually gonna keep this right here at the 75,000 ISK, because any ISK is good ISK as long as there's a margin. Our trade level, because we're alpha, is level 3. Minimum volume, I do want to stay at 200 because this is the average off 20 days, and I don't want anything under 200 to show up, because usually it's just one person buying 1,000 items or 100 items for the first time in the last 90 days or something like that. Even at 200, you still do get some ores that one person popped in, bought 15,000 of them. So because in the last 20 days there was 15,000 volume once, it will show up in this list. I will usually ignore those and just go for items that I see are traded at least like 50 a day. That's quite a stretch still for me. This will be 2.4 for us because we researched 2 broker skills. Return margins, I do want to keep this above 30% because we're looking at growing our money. I don't want to put this any lower because that just causes more risk, especially with the taxes and fees that we currently have. I think that automatically wipes out 7.4 in fees, and that's just in sales. So that doesn't include our purchasing fees, our purchasing broker fee, which would be 2.4. So we're looking at just under 10%, I believe. We're just at 10% fees total. So really our margin, our return margin will actually be 20% minimum at the end of the day, assuming things sell at a decent rate. And then our margins below, I have below 100,000 because sometimes you do have items that someone's having a buy order open at 100 ISK and the item is selling at 400,000, 4 million, whatever it is. It could be selling at an outrageous price because someone else bought up everything in between or someone sold everything in between. So I usually keep this at 100,000 ISK. This will run, probably takes like 10 seconds. Okay, so here we are. This will automatically categorize the items by your total net profit. I typically like to look at volume instead, but depending on what my goal is, I'll usually hop in here, do some high net profit items, and then I'll hop over to volume and make sure everything else are things that will trade frequently. Some of these items, again, don't really trade very often. So what we'll do is I'm going to show you guys, let's check some of these compressed stuff. Usually it's the compressed items. We'll hop in here. We copied that. Let's paste it in here. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, people are buying this for 344 ISK and they're selling it for just under 100,000. However, if we look here, there was one sale in the last 29 days, and that looks like it was sent to a buy order. Someone filled a bunch of buy orders and they went down from about 10k ISK down to 300. So this isn't something that sells very often. So again, you want to keep your eye on not just the total volume, but what the item is, the margin. Usually if it's a ridiculous margin, it's one of those items. But you can learn on your own by copying and pasting these in. So let's categorize this again by net profit, and let's see what we have. So this is buying for 32. This has been going down the last few days. It was at 66. It went up. Looks like it might be going back down, but let's take a look. Okay, so it's definitely been higher. I mean, what back here was about 73 mil. So we're kind of on a downtrend here, and that was what in the last 106 days. It's usually stuck to being pretty close. So you can see the buy orders on the bottom, the sell order on top. You can see how close they get together. So most of the time, this may not be the greatest item to be trading like this, but currently, while buy orders are way down here, it's a pretty decent item. And considering the average is normally around 73 mil, I think we should continue to take advantage of this item. So we'll do 32,030,123. I need to change this. For some reason, this reverted back to day for the duration, and I don't know why. We're going to change that back to 3 months. Quantity, let's do 4. Because if we buy these and sell these, you get 4 of them. 4 of them at 65 mil. You're looking at roughly 240 plus some, maybe plus or minus some because of taxes in total. So usually I keep this to station on this tune, but on my main I'll send this up to 4 jumps just because I want to be able to grab anything that anyone wants to sell just instantly at their station, and they may not want to travel back to the trade hub. It is only 4 jumps, so it's not that crazy, but it does happen frequent enough to where people will pass my order with their buy orders, and then someone will sell to me when I'm way below all the rest of the buy orders at some random station. And then usually on Fridays, I travel around and pick everything up. Okay, so let's post this. Bam. So we only have 1 order available today, which is fine, but we'll take a quick look back here. There's, like you can see, there's plenty of items where you can get a decent net profit. Since this does account for my fees, we're looking at about 27 million net profit off each one of these sales. So if I get 4 of them, I'd be looking at just over 100,000 in net profit. That's pretty freaking good. Of course, you can do ships too. I usually stay away from ships mostly because they're not in my main inventory, and that's typically what I look at. And so since they're covered up over here, I forget about them, and eventually we'll sell them, and usually they sell just fine. So it's something I just don't do personally. I also don't really trade in ores. I usually stay away from those. The margin's usually a bit tighter, and with these compressed ores, they don't really sell too frequently, so it's not worth my time. But I do want to show you this 13th tier Overseer's personal effect. It tells you that people are buying these for 3 mil, just over 3 mil at Jita. The thing is though, is that this calculator doesn't take into consideration nearby stations. While at Jita the price might be 3 mil, at Perimeter, 1 jump away, people are buying for 12 mil, and that's going to take precedence over your buy order at 3 mil. So I usually stay away from those. So yeah, we got pretty lucky here. We got quite a few things bought and sold. I'm just going to show you guys, run through my transactions just so you can see that I'm not receiving money from anyone. I'm not doing anything weird, no missions or anything. All of this, in fact, maybe if I look here, has been from trade. And then this 1% miscellaneous is probably from the Air Career program. So yeah, total income and expenses. So income counts for anything sold, but then you take that money and you go buy more things. This isn't really our net value. I think our net value is 771 million. So if we looked at the items we do have here, buy orders total, we have 200 million in buy orders. So yeah, you throw that on to the 400,000, and I don't know where the rest of that coming from. Market escrow, combined asset. Oh, just my assets in general. Okay. So whatever I am selling on the market, that's right. However, some of these things aren't going to sell for the items I posted because, you know, we go through and we modify them and bring them down over time. And this is where we're at, guys. So right now we are at 600 if we include our buy orders. We're at 600 mil. We're working our way along, and this is some really great progress. I think we started on the 3rd, so we're about a third, over a third of the way. And we're only 15 days in, so this is very possible if you're just trading, but it'll still take over a month to do by just trading. So if you are doing other things, you do have to then account for buying ships or buying items, losing ships, losing items. If you're playing it safe and you're doing this in your pastime, again, just checking it maybe once or twice a day, you can still make some great progress. And, you know, even though I've been missing times on updating orders, if I've missed doing it at night or in the morning or during lunch, which I have most of the time, I've probably spent maybe 2.5-ish hours on this tune. Someone has mentioned to me I can buy things from the contracts, or I can buy skins, turn some of this ISK into Plex, buy some skins off the NAS store, and then sell them, which would probably speed me along more quickly. But I just want to do this just from the market trading. I don't want to go into the Plex store, don't really want to do any of the project discovery stuff. I just want to buy and sell from the market here to show that that's able to be done, and any of these other methods might actually decrease the time it takes to do it. So definitely check out the comments. There's some good stuff in there, and same with the previous 2 videos. I mean, that's where all the comments are so far. But go check those out, and you might gain some extra insight into other things you can do in the game to help speed this along. Anyways, that's all we got for this video. I really want to thank you guys for being here. Thanks for checking out the Twitch, those of you that had, and those of you who are liking and subscribing, commenting here on YouTube. I greatly appreciate that. I have links in the description for 1 million free skill points. Go check that out if you haven't claimed it yet. Veteran accounts or new accounts, whatever, all work for it, and you get 1 million skill points to apply to whatever skills you want to research. In the description's also my Twitter and my Discord. I like to post on Twitter if my stream schedule changes. The more of a following I get there, I'll start posting when videos are delayed or when they'll be posted in my Twitter. And Discord is a great way for you to contact me directly and interact with me and the people from Twitch. When you join Discord, just make sure to select the Wazitsay TTV option. That way you get access to the chats concerning me. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.